For centuries, Niagara Falls has wailed with unstoppable power, its mist concealing secrets the world was never meant to see. A force of nature, a symbol of beauty, but also a graveyard of mysteries. Beneath the crashing waves and dazzling lights lies a past drenched in tragedy, hoax, and the unknown. A place where souls have vanished without an imprint, where history has been rewritten by blood, and where the waters once fell silent, revealing something that should have remained buried. Decades-old disappearances, chilling discoveries, and a dark connection between two nations that took nearly 30 years to unravel. This isn't just a waterfall. This is Niagara Falls, unmasked. And once you see what lurks beneath the mist, there's no turning back. Let's begin. What secrets does Niagara Falls hold? Situated on the border between Ontario, Canada, and New York, USA, Niagara Falls is not just one waterfall, it is a system of three. The crescent-shaped cataract is 54 meters high and carries 9 times more water than its United States counterpart. The American Falls, stark and powerful, crashing onto jagged rocks below. The Bridal Falls, smaller, delicate, yet just as deadly. And the grandest of them all, the Horseshoe Falls, a crescent-shaped behemoth on the Canadian side, carrying more water than the other two combined. But this spectacle didn't always look like this. It has a whole history from where it emerged and became the marvel of the world. The falls were born from destruction when melting glaciers formed massive freshwater lakes, the Great Lakes, one of which, Lake Eerie, ran downhill toward another, Lake Ontario. The rushing waters carved out a river in their descent and at one point passed over a steep cliff-like formation. It was the end of the Ice Age. The glaciers started to melt, causing unleashing torrents of water that carved the Niagara Gorge, a deep, violent wound in the earth. And since then, the water has been falling, and this became Niagara Falls. Originally called Elgin, the community merged with Clifton in 1856 and was known by that name until 1881, when its name was changed to Niagara Falls. It was incorporated as a city in 1904. And even now, the falls are still moving, still changing, still erasing history, 1 inch at a time, all by just the rapid increase in water flow due to the melting glaciers. For centuries, the mighty Niagara Falls has roared, unrelenting, untamed, a force of nature so powerful, so eternal, that it seemed nothing could stop it. But what if I told you that there was a day when the falls simply ceased to exist? June 1969. Engineers stood victorious as they achieved the unthinkable. They silenced the falls. Against the odds, they stemmed the flow of Niagara Falls, thus silencing one of the most famous attractions on planet Earth. But as the thunderous waters retreated, something else emerged. As the water dries up for the first time in thousands of years, a secret is revealed on the rocks below, and it's a horrific one too. A secret buried beneath the endless cascade, something that should have never been uncovered. a discovery so disturbing that it would haunt the falls for decades to come. But this was only the beginning. Decades passed. The secret remained buried in time until the summer of 1995, when a man aged 46 vanished without a trace. Authorities searched, they investigated. NY went missing. Police in that state searched for him, but Canadian authorities were never advised of the missing person. Until 30 years later, when science finally spoke for the dead. The truth? A horror lurking in the heart of Niagara Falls, one that had waited in silence for decades. Did the missing body get a name or remained mystery? They thought it was just another body, just another lost soul claimed by the relentless current of Niagara Falls. But they were wrong. June 1995. The body of a man found on the Canadian side of the river, unrecognizable, unclaimed, and worst of all, unnoticed. That month, Niagara Regional Police Service, NRPS, recovered the remains of a male from the Canadian side of the Niagara River. However, they were unaware of the possible connection to New York State and didn't advise authorities there. No one connected the dots. No one questioned why a man, an American man, washed up in Canadian waters. For 28 years, his name was forgotten, his life erased, a nameless ghost trapped between two nations, until a single phone call changed everything. Enter the DOE Network, a volunteer organization dedicated to solving the unsolvable. They had been combing through decades of missing persons cases when they stumbled upon something chilling. Could it be? An autopsy was conducted, but the remains were never positively identified, and the male remained known as John Doe, Niagara Regional Police Service, NRPS, said in a news release later. DNA was needed, urgently. A desperate search began. Family members located samples sent for testing. As a result of the new information, further investigation occurred in collaboration with United States authorities, and DNA was sought from members of the missing male's family, NRPS said in the news release. In September 2023, suitable DNA was submitted to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police's RCMP National DNA Databank, and profiles were successfully uploaded. Further forensic samples from the unidentified remains were submitted to the RCMP for profiling and comparison over the course of the next year. The results? A perfect match. After a number of meetings with the Ontario's chief coroner and deputy chief forensic pathologist, a forensic anthropologist, and members of Ontario Forensic Pathology Services, it was concluded that there was a strong belief that the remains could be those of the missing man from New York. After 3 long decades, John Doe finally had a name. The family found peace, but questions remained. This incident sheds light into the continued need for the collaboration and communication between both Canada and the U.S. officials to solve these ongoing and historical cases. Families need closure, they want answers, and it ultimately is up to us to provide them with this. Dediconst Sarah Mummery, NRPS's Missing Persons and Unidentified Remains Coordinator, said in the release. Niagara Falls is no stranger to death. For over 12,000 years, the falls have swallowed lives whole. The water rushes at 35 miles per hour, carving the land, erasing the past, concealing the truth. Did you know? The first person to survive the deadly drop was Annie Taylor, Queen of the Mist, a schoolteacher from Bay City, Michigan in 1901. She climbed into a barrel and lived to tell the tale. Others weren't so lucky. Some took the plunge on purpose, some didn't. Niagara Falls is a place of spectacle, a place of wonder, a place of tragedy. What really happened to him? How did he end up on the Canadian side? Was it an accident or something far more threatening? So many questions emerged, but no one to dig in. Perhaps there are things that are more than what you on the surface. There are theories within, a universe within itself. And somewhere beneath the waves, more stories remain, waiting to be uncovered. History is full of wonders, and when you look at it with a deeper insight, you get to know that there is another layer to what you know. Some might say that Niagara Falls is just a beautiful wonder of this world, but you now know what it carries beneath. If you want to know more about incidents like this, subscribe to MissTree Media.